This is a very, and I mean a very odd situation for Darnell Washington, and it straight up sucks because he's missed out on millions, and I'm talking about millions of dollars. And I'm going to go back to this. It's all because of one simple thing. Day 2 of the NFL Draft wrapped up late last night, and when you're watching this video, more than likely, and yeah, probably, Day 3 will be currently ongoing. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We're here to talk about Day 2, and man, there was a lot of shocking stuff that happened. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. It is the one thing that's on my mind, and it's what everybody's been talking about. It was trending all over Twitter. How did Darnell Washington fall that low in the draft? That is the question that everybody's been asking. How did a guy who is 6'7", 275 pounds, he's super athletic, he can jump high as well, he's just an overall freak athlete, fall that low? I've watched so much film on this guy, but even if you just watched him at Georgia, you could tell this guy's a monster. And really, when you broke it down even more, he seemed like your typical NFL tight end. Yes, he can catch passes. Yes, he is athletic, but he's really good at blocking as well. At one point in time, you had a good fair share of people who thought, okay, maybe he won't go in the first round. That did kind of seem like a stretch, but early second round for sure. Worst case scenario, he'll go late second round. But that didn't even happen. But however, there's actually been leaked information about why Darnell Washington fell in the draft, and it's basically for one big reason. And this reason, it's sad, it really is. Just because of one simple thing, it can make you lose out on millions, and I'm talking about millions of dollars. There's not another way to say it, it straight up sucks, but this also reminds me of another Georgia player last year who fell in the draft because of one reason, and that is Nakobe Dean. Y'all remember Nakobe Dean, right? He was actually supposed to be a late first round pick, and he fell even farther. We're going to talk all about that reason in today's video, and shout out to you guys. It seemed like you really enjoyed yesterday's video where we just recapped the picks 1 through 32, and we're going to keep that same format. That's the game plan. We are not just talking about Darnell Washington. We're going to talk about all the other picks, and there's a lot to go over. So you better get you a snack, get you some popcorn, get your favorite meal you like to eat when you watch a video, because it's going to be a good one. I really enjoy making these draft videos, keeping up with the draft, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed as well. As always though, real quick, if you're new to the channel, you like football content, consider joining. We got one of the best communities out there. We would love for you to join. It is 100% free, and you can always unsub later. I'm not going to be one of these cornball YouTubers and beat around the bush. I'm just going to tell you straight up. Whenever you subscribe to channels, it helps them out tremendously. All right, Matt, blah, blah, blah. Shut the crap up. Ain't nobody subscribing. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. By the way, happy Saturday. Hope all y'all have a great weekend. Feeling good. It's starting to heat up, starting to warm. I hope you're having a good day. We're not playing around whatsoever. We're starting out round 2 number hot. One of the best cornerbacks in the draft. He got taken by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Love, and I mean absolutely love this pick. This just seems like a Pittsburgh Steelers pick. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's because his father, Joey Porter, didn't he also play for the Steelers? I'm about 70% sure on that. I believe he did, but we're not here to talk about his dad. We're here to talk about him and the Steelers. If you're a fan of the Steelers, just know you got an outstanding player. I watched this kid a ton at Penn State in the past couple of years, and he's very physical, and that can be a good thing, but also a bad thing. The only bad thing I'm going to say about him is he's a little too handsy, and in the NFL, you're not going to be able to do all that stuff. Overall, though, I like the pick, and to give you some perspective, this guy's about 6'3", 200 pounds. You don't really see a lot of 6'3" cornerbacks, so the dude's pretty tall. I would love to talk about this some more, hype up the pick, but we got a lot more to go over, so let's get a move on. Right after that one, we got the fireworks continuing to go on. The Tennessee Titans selected no other than the man, the myth, the legend himself. Somebody commented on the previous video, the Mayo Man, Will Levis. Whoever commented that, I'm going to try to find the comment. I'll pop it up right here. You're a legend. I'm going to talk about Will Levis in a different video we're uploading tonight. By the way, stay tuned for that. So I'm not going to speak on it too much. I will say this. Congratulations to Will Levis. You got humiliated. You got embarrassed the day before. And I wonder where he was at, because for those of you that don't know, he didn't even show up to day 2. The reports came out that he went home, and man, you just know he probably didn't even care about it. He was so depressed, and that does suck. But, and I have a big but, I can't feel for him too bad, because if he had been watching my videos the past couple of years, he would have known he wasn't going to be a first-round pick, or at least a lock. I've been telling you guys this, and you guys know it. We talked about that yesterday. We're going to talk about that later tonight, so stay tuned. I don't want to speak on it too much. And you know what? Hold on. I'm going to grade these picks as we go down here. Joey Porter Jr. going to the Steelers, I'm going to give that an A-. Tennessee Titans picking up Will Levis, I'm going to give that C+. Continuing to go down here at number 35. And by the way, I'm not going to talk about every single pick. I'm talking about the notable ones and the big ones, at least to me. The Oakland Raiders, they don't screw it up. They get a solid tight end that a lot of people had going in the first round in Michael Mayer. I watched this guy a ton at Notre Dame. Good player. Whenever somebody talks about Michael Mayer, it's going to be the same corny analogies they always say when you talk about white players. Lunch pail type of guy, first guy in, last guy out type of mentality. He's got grit, he's got heart, all that corny and cliche stuff. I'm not going to say too much about it just because he's a good tight end, and I think we can leave it at that. For the Raiders, I'm going to give that pick a B+. Really good pickup. As we continue to go down here, 36 through 44, not going to talk about any of these picks because nothing really to say. Oh, wait. Let me talk about 39. Jonathan Mingo. This is a guy that your casual fans don't know about, which is completely okay because nobody talked about him. Most of y'all know I'm an SEC fan, so I kept up with Jonathan Mingo a lot at Ole Miss, and the dude can ball out. Reminds me a little bit of A.J. Brown, who came out of Ole Miss. You're talking about a big and overall built wide receiver like A.J. Brown. I don't know why, I just have this weird feeling about him that he's not going to be a bust. At bare minimum, he's going to be your typical 8-10 year wide receiver in the league that, yeah, he may not be a top 10 wide receiver, but he's always floating around 11 through 15. The Panthers getting him at 39 was an underrated pickup in my opinion because Bryce Young needs somebody to throw to. The Panthers wide receivers core, they suck. This is a guy that can come in and start from day one and probably will start from day one. Keep your eyes on Jonathan Mingo at the Panthers. Wouldn't be shocked if he has 1,000 yards next year. He is built, and why I love him so much and why I think he's so underrated, he is built like an NFL wide receiver right now. He has that Julio Jones bodybuilding frame. Most of these wide receivers that are entering the NFL, they need to be put on meal plans, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if anything, this guy needs to go on a diet. I'm going to give that pick an A. I'm not going to give it an A-, A+, but an A. Outstanding pick. Going on down here to number 45. You know, the Detroit Lions in the first round, controversial to say the least. Who they get? Oh, yeah. They got a linebacker that wasn't even supposed to go to the second round, and then we all know the controversial one. They got Jahmyr Gibbs at number 12. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, outstanding running back. But did you need him at number 12? Even Jahmyr Gibbs came out and stated, hey, I didn't even think I was going to go in the top 20. Very odd and very strange, but at number 45, they made up for it because they got a safety out of Alabama that goes by the name of Brian Branch. There were some people out here saying Brian Branch would get selected in the top 20, 25 in the first round. So getting him at 45? Can't fault him. I'm going to give that a B+. This is a good pickup, and you can never go wrong with a safety, cornerback, or defensive back out of Alabama. We're still in the second round, but at number 50, I was watching this live, and I was like, what? Who is this dude? The Packers got Jaden Reed. They selected Jaden Reed, my bad. He's a wide receiver, and as soon as I heard it, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, who is Jaden Reed? I've never heard of this guy, and he's a wide receiver. Normally, you know who your wide receivers are, and he got taken 50th overall, so I looked up his stats and numbers. I was like, okay, maybe he balled out last year. And no, he didn't ball out. In 2021, he balled out. He had 59 catches for 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. But in the most recent year, 2022, he had 55 catches, less catches in 2021, only 600 yards, and 5 touchdowns. What happened? I already know what some of the naysayers are going to say. Well, Matt, he's fast. I already know that about him. Okay, he may be fast, but here's my thing. He didn't have production. Last year, he had 500 receiving yards. I need to see more out of you, man. I'm sorry. I think this is a terrible pick. I'm giving this a D-. D freaking minus. And last but not least, the last pick in the second round, and we're going to move on to the third round. Marvin Mims from Oklahoma. He's going to the Broncos. I've always liked me some Marvin Mims at Oklahoma. I don't know why. It also kind of felt like he played at Oklahoma for 6 years, but he just got better and better and better every single season. The Broncos, you should be ecstatic about this pick. Let me show you his stats, and this is what I'm talking about production-wise. He got better and better and better. 2020, 600 yards. 2021, 700 yards. And most recently, 2022, over 1,000. You know what you're getting out of Marvin Mims. You don't know what you're getting out of Jaden Reed. That one, just a head-scratcher. On to the third round here, pick number 67, the Broncos. They also got Drew Sanders, linebacker from Arkansas. Drew Sanders is a guy most people, yet again, aren't going to know, but I think he has a lot of potential. The Broncos, within those last 5 or 6 picks, they got some pretty good guys. I'm going to give that Drew Sanders one a B-. But then right after that, we got a quarterback finally going off the board outside of good old Will Levis. Hendon Hooker going to the Lions. This one makes sense. You got your backup quarterback, and maybe one day Hendon Hooker, he he could be a starter. You never know what's going to happen there. Am I going to talk about this too much? No, because he's not coming in to be the starting guy. There's no reason to talk about it. For the Lions, I'd give that a C+. Not a bad pick, not a great pick. At number 73 and 74, we got two very intriguing picks. 73, we got Jalin Hyatt. For those of you that don't know Jalin Hyatt, his is still having nightmares about it. This is the guy who had 5 touchdowns against Alabama. He also runs a 4.4 40-yard dash, and he was outstanding last year for Tennessee. But as to why he entered the NFL draft as early as he did, not too sure. I feel like if he would have went back to Tennessee, got even better, he could have been a first-round pick next year and made tens of millions of more dollars. Regardless of that, he said, hey, I'm not risking it. I'm going to the draft. I'm getting paid. He entered it. He got selected 73rd overall by the Giants. For the Giants, I'm giving this an A because Jalin Hyatt, the dude can play. Last year alone, he had over 1,200 receiving yards and 15 touchdowns. With Jalin Hyatt, you're getting a playmaker. But under that, another Tennessee wide receiver, what do you know? Cedric Tillman going to the Browns. Cedric Tillman could be really, and I'm talking about really good one day. The only thing that held him back at Tennessee, and a main reason he wasn't really projected to be a first-round pick, is because of injury problems. This guy just couldn't stay healthy, and it's unfortunate, but hey, he's in the NFL now. I like those two picks, but what about this? At 76, the Patriots, here we go. I gave them credit in the first round. They had an outstanding A-plus pick in Christian Gonzalez, the cornerback from Oregon. But here we go. Bill O'Brien back to his ways, picking up mailmen and just random people from Wyoming and Idaho. Who is this guy? Martin Mapu out of Sacramento State. He didn't even get a draft. He didn't even get an invite to the draft combine. And let me make this clear. I'm not saying this kid isn't good. I'm sure he's a good football player. But my point is, and everybody else's point, is he still would have been on the board in probably the 6th round. You could have got him then. Why are you, I don't want to say wasting a 3rd round pick, but why are you taking him so high? I don't even want to talk about that too much more. It's just, are we shocked by this? No, I'm not shocked by it. I'm actually shocked when the Patriots have a good pick. It is just something about Bill O'Brien and these random people at these small schools that he loves. And more times than not, they work out. Just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff there. The Dolphins at 84, they got another running back out of A&M. He's a solid player. Not going to talk about that too much longer. And at number 88, another running back, Tank Bigsby from Auburn. He's going to Jacksonville. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We finally got to the main topic of the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video. At 93, we got Darnell Washington going to the Steelers. Whew, man, oh man. Let's get into it. Before we really divulge into things, I want to give you a perspective because perspective is everything. I want you to know what I'm talking about. When you look at Washington's stats at Georgia, they're not going to shock you. As a matter of fact, you're going to look at them and go, what the crap, this dude sucked. But keep in mind, Darnell Washington was a blocking tight end and the backup tight end to a future top 5 overall pick in Brock Bowers. This guy was the backup tight end. He was just fighting for playing time. He wasn't even the top tight end on his team. So keep that in the back of your mind. But last year in 2022, he had 28 catches for 450 yards with 2 touchdowns. Not too impressive. But yet again, going back to this, I can't emphasize it enough. He was the backup tight end. And when he was in there to run block. And this dude, when he's in there run blocking, he is essentially another offensive lineman, if not better. He is just so big. He takes up so much space. It was unreal at the college level. Maybe in the NFL, it won't look that crazy, but at college, when he was in there, it felt like a cheat code. I was like, dude, get that grown man off the field. He shouldn't be playing. But anyways, getting a move on here. Steelers, they take Darnell Washington. But the question leading up to it, I saw it all on Twitter, was, okay, why is this kid falling so far in the draft? What's going on? Because every fan of every fan base was like, hey, whenever we get to pick in the 2nd or 3rd round, I hope we can get this guy. And nobody was freaking out or making a big deal about this in the 2nd round. But once it got to the 3rd round and he was still on the board, everybody's like, okay, something's got to be going on here. Something fishy's going on. Because if you know football, you know that Darnell Washington is a flat-out beast. And unlike his buddy Jalen Carter at Georgia, there was no red flags whatsoever. He seems like a good kid. He's got good measurables. We already talked about his size. He's a freak athlete, etc. You could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to do that. You get the point. I'm here to answer the question that everybody's asking. Why did he fall? And we have answers. I don't really know how to ease into this. I'm just going to say it. There were some reports coming out and some news that was leaked out that Darnell Washington was falling down the draft boards because of knee issues. Apparently, a lot of these NFL teams, they are highly concerned about these knee issues, which is rightfully so. I mean, you got to think about it. We're talking about a 6'7", 280-pound guy. Not exactly Best case and scenario for knees. Even basketball players, I think a great example is Zion Williamson. He's similar to this size. What do you know? He's got knee problems as well. When you got superhumans, freak athletes like Zion Williamson, Darnell Washington, yeah, it's going to be rough on your knees. It's not normal. And to go on top of that, we're talking about football here. He's going to be getting hit in his knees time after time after time. So if his knee issues are already bothering him and they're already bad, yeah, if I was an NFL GM or team, I'd push him down my draft board as well. Here's where we're kind of left in the dark though. How bad of knee issues are we talking about here? Are they minor knee issues? Are they major? We don't know. But just like the end of this says right here, I want to read it off to you word for word. I'll highlight it on the screen. Matt, highlight this. Unclear how far he falls from the original grades, which were high. What was his overall grade? I already forgot. Okay, yeah, dang, I didn't even know it was this high. He had a 39th overall scout grade, so he was supposed to be the 39th pick in the draft, going off of this. Supposed to be a 39th overall pick, had an 85 grade. I mean, he was a great prospect. But those knee problems, that'll do it to you. That'll drive you down. And like I said in the intro, eerily similar to last year with Nakobe Dean, also from Georgia. Nakobe Dean, linebacker from Georgia, is supposed to be a late first-round pick, and he falls all the way down to, what was it? I believe the third round as well. This is a very, and I mean a very odd situation for Darnell Washington, and it straight up sucks because he's missed out on millions, and I'm talking about millions of dollars. And I'm going to go back to this. It's all because of one simple thing. Knee problems. That's it. There's all there is to it. He's not a bad kid. He didn't say anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. Just got some knee problems and concerns. And I'm also going to go back to this. We don't even know if they're major knee problems, and I don't think they are. Me going off of speculation, I watched him at Georgia. It didn't seem like his knees were bothering him that bad. I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's more so of these teams are scared of the fact that he's so tall and he's just so built. He looks like a freaking tank out there, so maybe that's what they're concerned about. I don't know. If he would have got selected where they had him going with his 39th overall grade, let's say he got selected anywhere from 33 to 45, you're talking about $5, $6, $7, $8 million. That's a good payday. But now with you falling late third round with that 93rd pick, that's only a couple $1 million. Big difference there. Big difference. Also, I want to finish out this third round real quickly, and then we'll end up this video. Number 95, the Bengals. Yeah, they got Jordan Battle from Alabama. He also fell kind of low. Or he didn't fall really low. He was supposed to be a third round pick, but I thought he'd go to early third round. And last but not least, what about this? The San Francisco 49ers got a kicker from Michigan in the third round. You don't see that every day. And the San Francisco 49ers, they got Cameron Latu, the tight end from Alabama. He went way higher than I thought and everybody else. He was supposed to be like a 5th, 6th round pick, and he went in the third round. He's a Bama boy, though, so I'm happy for him. And also, fun fact, Alabama had 4 players selected in the third round, and Tennessee had 3. Those schools did really good, and the last pick in the third round was Mekhi Blackman, cornerback from USC. I know I forgot to do my grade for Darnell Washington going to the Steelers. I'm giving that an A+. When you get a guy who is projected to go early second round in the late third round, I'm giving it an A+. Simple as that. There's many more things I could say, but I don't want to make this video 3 hours long because I don't feel like you guys want to sit here for 3 hours. We're going to talk about everything that happens on Saturday tomorrow, which will be Sunday, so come on back, and thank you guys, and yeah, let me know your thoughts down below about that.